Listen carefully because what I am about to tell you might change the way you see yourself forever. Here are 10 signs you're being too hard on yourself. Right now, at this exact moment, millions of people are sabotaging their own lives without knowing it. They wake up every morning believing they are simply being responsible or trying to improve themselves, but the truth is darker than that. They are trapped in a mental prison where the judge, the jury, and the executioner are all the same person, themselves. This is not about being humble or having realistic expectations. This is about a voice in your head that never stops whispering that you are not enough, that you will never be enough, and that everything you touch turns into failure. Here is the scary part. This voice sounds so much like you that you believe it is telling the truth. But it is not truth. It is destruction disguised as self-improvement. The first sign that you are drowning in excessive self-criticism is perfectionism, but not the healthy kind where you want to do your best. This is the toxic version where nothing you do ever feels good enough. You finish a project, and instead of celebrating, you immediately see 700 flaws. Someone compliments your work, and you think they are either lying or they simply have low standards. You set goals that would make Olympic athletes nervous, and when you fail to reach them, you use that failure as proof that you are worthless. The second sign is a paralyzing terror of making mistakes. Not a normal concern about doing well, but an actual phobia of failure that stops you from trying new things, taking risks, or putting yourself out there. But here is what nobody tells you about this fear. It is not protecting you from failure. It is guaranteeing it. When you are so afraid of messing up that you never take action, you have already failed before you even started. The third sign is taking responsibility for things that are completely outside your control. When a team project goes wrong, you blame yourself even though 5 other people were involved. When a relationship ends, you assume it was all your fault, even when the other person clearly had issues too. You carry the weight of the world on your shoulders and then criticize yourself for not being strong enough to hold it. But here is the question that will determine whether you escape this trap or stay stuck forever. Do you even know when your inner voice crosses the line from helpful to harmful? Most people do not, and that is exactly why they stay trapped for years or even decades. The fourth sign reveals itself in your desperate need for control. You micromanage every detail of your life because you believe that if you can just control everything perfectly, you will finally be safe from criticism, especially your own. But control is an illusion, and when reality refuses to follow your script, the self-criticism intensifies. You blame yourself for not being organized enough, not being smart enough, not being whatever enough to make the universe bend to your will. The fifth sign is rumination, which is a fancy word for mentally torturing yourself by replaying your mistakes over and over like a horror movie on repeat. That embarrassing thing you said at a party 6 years ago? Still fresh in your mind. That project you messed up at work 14 months ago? You think about it every single day. Your brain becomes a courtroom where you are constantly on trial for crimes you have already been punished for 1,000 times. The sixth sign lives in your self-talk, the constant stream of thoughts running through your mind all day long. For most people with excessive self-criticism, this voice sounds like an abusive coach who never sees any good in you. It says things you would never say to another human being, things like, "You are so stupid," or "You always ruin everything," or "Nobody could ever love someone like you." And the worst part? You have heard this voice for so long that you think it is just being honest. The seventh sign shows up in your self-esteem, or rather, the complete absence of it. Your sense of worth is entirely dependent on your performance, which means one mistake can destroy you emotionally for days or weeks. You have no stable foundation of self-respect that stays solid regardless of what happens. Instead, your self-esteem is like a house built on sand, constantly shifting and collapsing with every tiny setback. The eighth sign is the frustration and irritation you feel toward yourself constantly. You get angry at yourself for minor mistakes that other people would laugh off in seconds. You hold yourself to standards that are impossibly high while giving everyone else permission to be human. But why do people who are drowning in self-criticism also feel so profoundly undesirable and insecure? because when you spend every day convincing yourself that you are not good enough, you start to believe that everyone else sees you the same way. The ninth sign manifests as a deep feeling of being undesirable, unlovable, and unworthy of good things. You walk into rooms assuming people will reject you. You sabotage relationships before they can develop because you are certain the other person will eventually discover how flawed you are and leave anyway. You reject yourself first to avoid the pain of being rejected later, not realizing that you are creating the exact outcome you fear most. The 10th and final sign is pervasive insecurity that colors everything you do. You second-guess every decision. You need constant reassurance from others, but never believe them when they give it. You compare yourself to everyone around you and always come up lacking. You see other people's highlight reels and compare them to your behind-the-scenes disasters, never realizing that everyone has struggles they hide from the world. This insecurity is not a personality trait you were born with. It is the natural result of years of training yourself to see only your flaws and ignore your strengths. Here is what you need to understand. Recognizing these 10 signs is not about labeling yourself as broken or damaged. It is about finally seeing the prison you have been living in so you can start planning your escape. Excessive self-criticism is not a moral virtue. It is not humility. It is not realism. It is a learned behavior that is stealing your peace, your potential, and your ability to experience joy. The good news is that anything learned can be unlearned. You can develop a new relationship with yourself, one based on honest self-assessment instead of constant condemnation. You deserve to speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a good friend. You deserve to make mistakes without turning them into evidence of your unworthiness. You deserve peace in your own mind. If this video helped you see something in yourself that you have been ignoring, I would be incredibly grateful if you would subscribe to this channel. We are building a community of people who are done tearing themselves apart and ready to build themselves up instead. Join us.